I have Davinci Resolve installed, but I have taken away the script that I use here in Linux Mint. This script only works in Linux Mint. It doesn't work anywhere else as far as I can tell. This script was written by a guy called Charles. He had his own YouTube channel, but no longer his channel is going. For some odd reason, he closed it down. But what we are going to do, we're going to do this from scratch. I have downloaded the latest Davinci Resolve, okay? I still have it installed here. I've gotten rid of the script of this script. I'm going to build the script myself by following these instructions here. I will leave the link down below to this. Now, if you are running an AMD GPU and you get unsupported GPU processing mode, you must ensure the correct driver on your system. Running something like sudo apt install meta openclcd from inside the terminal may help. Why this script name? The name PDRI stands for Post Download Resolve Install. Where to create it? CD downloads. Downloads is where it's going to be made. Here is the script, just here. Alright, there's two of them. There's an updated one that he done as well, so I'll probably do the updated one. This one uninstalls it after a new Mint update. Really? I had no problem with that whatsoever. I don't know why he had that on in there. I've always just used this one. I use XFCE, so I'm using X11. Even though I've got NVIDIA drivers on it, and it's still X11, all right? It's still on top of the X11 environment, all right? Now, the reason why I say that, of course, it was this one that I use. I've had no problems whatsoever with this script. So all you do is copy the whole lot. This is in Linux Mint 22, and that's what I'm in. You can do it in Linux Mint 23 as well, all right? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Copy that, alright. I'm going to pop it into a new one in here. And that was just the link to this site. So we're going to open a new one. We're going to paste all that in there, like so. We're going to save it as pdri.sh. And I'm just going to pop it into my downloads folder for now. Or in fact, I'm going to put it in my documents folder for now. Alright, we'll just pop it in there. That's what I'm going to do with it. So we'll show you where to put it in a minute. Alright, so we're going to save that in there. There we go, it's gone multicoloured now. That's fine, I can come off of that. Alright, so there's that done. Next, I'm going to come off of this site. I'll let you read up on this because I'll leave the link down below anyway. You can work your way on through it. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to downloads. Documents rather. It's in here, isn't it? Yep, there it is there. What we do next, we come on down to properties. Go to permissions, allow executing file as a program. Alright, close that. I'm then going to cut this from here because I've already got one saved on my external drive. And I will prove to you, before I do this, I will prove to you that they are both the same. I'm going to open up that and I'm going to go into here. Going to go everything I use, go into Davinci Resolve. I'm just going to unwrap this, extract here, and I'm going to open this up in a text file. There you go, it's exactly the same file. All right, exactly the same. All right, so after you've created your file, where do you put it? Well, unfortunately, Davinci Resolve has got to have permissions. So the only way of doing this is got to be sudo permissions in order to be able to get it installed, because there are a few rooted stuff that it's got to go on through whilst installing. All right, so it's going to need permissions in order to get on in there. So we're going to cut from here. We're going to go into file system, and if you're in Linux Mint anyway, a majority of you are using Nemo inside of Cinnamon. So all we do, we come on into USR bin, we right click in here and we open it up as root. All right, like so. We then pop that in there like that, and then we have to scroll on down, of course, down to P, obviously. PD we need, PDR, quite a lot of P's, isn't there? A, B, C, D. There we are, there it is there. we need to make it root now, okay? So we right-click it while we're still in as root. We right-click it, go to Properties, go to Permissions. Where it says your name, my name's Mark, of course, because it was made out of root, right? You need to make it root, so just do that. And on the second one as well, on the group, make it root as well, all right? There you go, sorted. You can come off of there now. Now then, I've got the version 20.3.3 installed of Davinci Resolve. So what I've got to do, I've got to come on over into here, and I've actually got to bring that version on over. So everything I use, I go into Davinci Resolve, and here is version 20.3.3. So I now copy that on over to Downloads, and we paste it in there. Okay, it's 9 gig altogether. The new version is 10.5 gig, or 10.2 gig, I think. 10.2 gig altogether download. All right, quite big. So just bring this on over to here. I've got to just, I can remember, auto install Linux Mint. It is sudo, yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, you either put CD downloads or just open it in terminal once it's in there. Sudo pdri.sh is what we got to put into a terminal. So if I do that, I then copy that. That should have come on over now. Should be there. Yeah, looks like it is. There it is there. We'll open this up in terminal. We'll then paste that command that I've just put on in there. pdri.sh, the file that we've just made up. Put our password in. And what it does, it inflates it, okay? So that file, the zip file, it's now inflating it, and then we'll get and then it'll open it, and then we'll get the option to uninstall. All right? So we just got to wait around a little bit. But yeah, should be good. But like I say, it's working. This script does work, and it works well. And I've had no problems with it. Touch wood, or head. Touch my head, which is made out of wood, and whistle. All right, so we go next. We can either reinstall or uninstall. I want to uninstall it because it's the only way that I can upgrade. If I just went for a full upgrade, it wouldn't look right. So I'd rather do it this way. So we're going to uninstall. There we are. It's done it. Okay, we can finish that now. And if we look down here, that's now gone. All right. So now what you're going to do then? Well, okay, we'll come off of there, Mo. I'm going to go. Because this was only copied, I can delete this off of here now. Delete. We go back in here. We'll go into everything I use. And of course, I've got Davinci Resolve 21, which is, it's 10.9 gig. I thought it was pretty big. Nearly 11 gig. All right, altogether. Let's copy that to downloads. Go on in there. We'll paste it. Give it time to go on over. It's quite a big file. Shouldn't take that long, hopefully. 10.9 gig is ridiculous. It took about on my broadband, my fiber network, it took about 8 minutes, I guess, to download something like that. Here in XFCE, everything just works. Everything I chuck at it. I don't use Thunar. That comes with XFCE. I hate Thunar. I hate it with a patch. I'd rather use Nemo. Some people say Nemo's heavy. Nemo, in fact, has got more choice than Thunar has. So I always uninstall Thunar here in a Debian-based version of Linux. You can't do that. Well, you could, I guess, if you're good at programming. I guess you could do that in Arch. But I'd rather get rid of Thunar altogether, and that has now been copied on over. And I like my Nemo. Takes me back to my Peppermint days when I used to use Peppermint, the original Peppermint, with when Mark Greaves was at the helm. They had Nemo in there, and he had gotten rid of Thunar altogether, and everything just worked in there. Call me a perfectionist if you like, but I like things that are stable. This is why I go for something like Linux Mint, because stability is key for me. I don't need, although I will be trying out like one of those tiling window manager things in Cairo Linux, which will be a whole different video. Anyway, let's get on and get Davinci Resolve Studio installed. let's just open in terminal, and all we do is go sudo pdri.sh. Password for me is that. It's now going to inflate 21.0.2. Always make sure, if you've already got Davinci Resolve installed, always make sure that you use the correct zip file in order to uninstall it before upgrading. Other people might not have problems, but for me, the screen resolution and all of that goes really weird. Inside of Davinci, if I just done an update inside it. So I'll rather do the update by scratch, and we're going to go next. We're going to have the Davinci Resolve OpenFX renderer as well, and we're just going to go next. And we're going to scroll all the way down on that, and we'll just go next. We'll click the little box, because I can't read that because it's so fucking small. How the hell are you meant to read that? Can you bring this up any bigger? Yeah, oh, fuck if you can. Anyway, I agree to the terms of the license. We don't have to show detailed log. We just start install and off it goes. And that's pretty nippy whippy, isn't it? 76% already. When it gets up to 99, just hangs there. It does my head in, a bit like a Windows machine used to. Are you going to do it or are you going to fail? Well, it looks like it's done it. We're at 99%. Just wait for it to go to 100. Everything should be tickety-boo. Now, because I've only copied that on over, I can now delete that off of my drive. Okay, and we can come on out of here. We'll remove that. It always puts one up on your desktop, but I've got my own custom one that I like to use in there. So what I like to do is see, this is the beauty about Nemo, is the fact that you can just come on in. You don't have to use a terminal. This is what I'm saying. You don't always have to use a terminal all the time. You do to install this. But I love Nemo because I can do stuff inside of here. Right, so I want to change that. Let's open as root inside of applications. Come down to Davinci. There we go. I've got my own. This is my own, although it's based on Sardi Ghost. It's now called Slim's Ghost Flexible now because I've added so much to it. And I've beveled a majority of the apps that I use just to give it a bit of a look, if you like. So they're now mine. I'm not going to be giving them away. I'm not or anything like that. Browse. We'll just browse here. We'll go to there. We'll go to scalable. We'll go apps. And we just got to go down to R, because I called it Resolve. I didn't call it its full name. Restricted. Resolve. Where are you? I don't know my alphabet. R-E-S. Resolve. There we are. And we just open up that. And here it is. And we just select that. And that should be all right down here now. And we're back to there. And come off of there. Come on off of there. Everything tickety-boo. No problems whatsoever. Should be able to open up this now. In Davinci Resolve 21. So I've just got to continue. Click start with my existing settings. There we go. I'm playing Plague Tale. I'm going to be doing the whole of that game. I've been playing it in parts and linking the parts up together. I've done 3 parts altogether. It's nearly 2 hours. All right. And it's come out at 8.9 gig after shrinking it down inside of Handbrake. If you're going to do rendering, video rendering or what have you inside of Davinci Resolve, then be prepared for big files, especially if you don't know what you're doing. It took me a while to get my head around, but always use a backup, and that's Handbrake. I highly recommend Handbrake. And if you can, I'll leave the PPA link for Ubuntu's version of Handbrake, or their Handbrake Handbook PPA, if you like. You get extra stuff on in there. Absolutely fantastic. You get so much in there. I mean, I'm like, this video is being recorded in 1440p. I record in AV1 at 80,000 with the byte rate. That's what this video is going out at the moment. I then bring it into Davinci. I then turn it into H.265, and then I bring it down to 40,000 in the byte rate, okay, and it's encoding inside of my NVIDIA card, all right. I then shrink it down again inside of Handbrake, but turn it back into AV1 NVENC. I up to 35. I have the constant quality on. Now, some of you might be thinking, bloody hell, that's going to be really bad quality. You're going to get pixelation and going to say what else. No, I don't. Not with AV1. It's very strange. You just don't get that. It's clear as day. Colours are there, everything. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. And that's basically what I do. It takes a little while longer to upload because your file, it's not so much that it's big. AV1, it's only been out, 3 years, 4 years now? AV1, isn't it? 3 years? Something like that. But I'm so glad that YouTube accepts it. And videos just fine. Absolutely. And I always have it slow inside of Davinci Resolve when rendering. I don't have it at fast. I have it on the slow. Usually, depending on the length of the video, it all depends on the length of the video, how quick it is. If you have it too fast, and even if you have it at ultra quality, you're just gonna, I don't know. I'd rather just have it like at slow. You get better compression that way. Yeah. So it compresses the file on down and it's not so big. It's big, but it's not massively big. So yeah, that's basically what I do. Here's my project, upgrade project version. This project was created on an older version of Davinci. Once you upgrade, it can only be open using or newer versions. Yeah, upgrade's fine. There we are. It's here. Everything's tickety-boo, I think. I think everything's tickety-wickety-wickety-boo. Oh, yeah. There we are. We are in version 21. So I just go into About, and as you can see, version 21.0.2 build 4. Tickety-boo, mate. I've shown you it rendering before. That was in my past video about this. Can't remember what I named that video, in fact. It was on my channel somewhere. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to come on off of here. We'll just quit. Everything's just tickety-boo, running beautifully here in Linux Mint. Do not try this script out in any other Linux because it doesn't work. It only works in Linux Mint. And it just works. It just works straight on out the bag. Even though if you ask AI, I'll bet you, if you ask Gemini, right, in Google, you showed it the script, it'll say, no, you mustn't do it like that. That's what it'll say. And it'll say, no, you mustn't do it like that. You've got to do it like this by downloading a bloody Deb maker or something. A Deb file maker. What the hell? You shouldn't have to do that. Proof is in the pudding, mate. Everything will work in here. All the AI plugins, everything will work in here in Davinci Resolve here in Linux. I'm having the time of my life with Davinci Resolve. It's just absolutely fantastic. No longer have you got to go with Adobe products and all this other crap. All right? It works here in Linux. Linux Mint is for beginners, a lot of people say. And yes, it's stability I'm after. I don't want to have to keep fixing things. I shouldn't have to do that. And stable this has been. The only time it was unstable for me was when we had Ubuntu being attacked with malware and what have you. That was the only time, the only gripe. Also, I highly recommend, if you're using Linux Mint, use the X11 side. Don't use the Wayland side as of yet. It isn't ready yet. It's still an experimental stage. But please use the X11. And the reason why I say that is that I highly recommend that you install Licorice kernel if you're using AMD or if you're using Intel. No, I don't know. Is it just for that? AMD 60? Well, yeah, I guess it'd be for Intel as well. But yeah, the Licorice kernel. The reason why I say that is because it's got rendering stuff inside it, which will help you out when using Davinci Resolve and Handbrake and that. It just boosts it up a little bit and just, I don't know, it just speeds things up really well, you know? Just sorts it out. I'm having a good time in here, especially with this kernel. It's very quick at booting up. Takes a little while to get used to your system. But once it's used to your system, after a few days of you booting up and rebooting and coming back in and what have you, it says, yeah, I'm used to this now. And it starts to speed up and speeds up it speeds up everything. Opening stuff, especially for me, look, that's pretty quick. But it'll get even quicker over time. I haven't long installed that. Here's another little tip for you. If you are wanting that, you can look online. But when you go to Launchpad's been playing silly buggers of late, especially in Firefox. And what you have to do is, I've got it written down. I hope to God I wrote it down. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, then I'm bloody daft. If I didn't, let's just have a look before I go. Linux notes, Firefox CD. I'll tell you what. Let me look for it, and I'll come back in another video about it. The package 1, Firefox on the Ubuntu 22, Firefox PPA, fixing out of memory. No, it isn't there then. I thought I would have saved it, but yeah, you have to turn off the TDP. Turn that off. That's the quickness of it. When you open up Firefox, when you open up Firefox, it's to do with the quickness of it. Some sites like Launchpad.net doesn't like it. So if you are getting this kernel, Licorice, that's where you can get it from, is from Launchpad, all right? Anyway, I'm going to go because this video's gone on way too long, okay? And I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.